Hey guys, this is Hayes with CheatSheetPros.com. Today is Monday, March 13th, 2023, and I wanted to go through some of the NBA player props that I'm looking at for tonight, as well as a couple of prize picks, and show you this same game parlay that I put together for my risk-free wager over here. So I'm going to bring it up. We can take a look at it. I'll run through it. So it roughly pays about 20 to 1. So my $10 risk-free bet pays $195.37. And we are going to hit Tyus Jones, Jaren Jackson blocks, Trae Young points and assists, Edwards points, Hunter points, Tatum points and rebounds, Jabari Smith points and rebounds, Derek White points. And then if you can see it down here, we got Steph and Booker, basically a combo. So I had to put these together when I screenshot it on my phone. For some reason, my iPhone won't go all the way down, so I put A and B. That way at night when I'm looking through it, I know that they are comboed together. So this is what it looks like, and we'll bring it up again here later in the video. So I'm going to run through here, and we're just going to look game by game. I'm going to show you some things that I look for. Hopefully this helps you out on your research and also give you some tips and tricks, as well as some other lines that I'm waiting to come up. So let me shrink this down a little bit so you can see a little bit more. So we've got most of the screen. You can see there's a little bit here on the right that's going to get gobbled up, but let's go ahead and take a look. As always, we click down here in the home. I scroll up to the top because I'm going to start up here and go down. If you pull this up and you don't see it, click inside the box and then this caret will show up and allow you to drop down, and you can scroll up and down. I've had some people message me where it'll be like this and they'll be like, there's only 3 games. Well, just scroll on up. That's an easy fix. So we're going to start at the first game. We're just going to work our way down here. This week is spring break, so I'm only working Monday, Tuesday, and I've got some PTO, so I had some free time from work to go through and kind of go through the videos. So looking at this first game, we got Houston and Boston. So on the morning sheet, there's only about 100 to 200 prize picks. And by the 4:30 p.m. update Central Time, there's close to 500, 550. So as we import those, they are going to go right here. So points, rebounds, assists, they're going to slide in here, and you can compare it to the projections, the last 4 average. And then we've got our most beautiful game logs here. So let's take a look at some of these and go down. Up here, we also have some DVP. This is over the last 2 weeks, what the teams are allowing points. Points in the paint, that's good for your big guys. 3-point shots made, that's good for your perimeter shooters. Rebounds, blocks and steals are always fun, and free throws attempted. So it's basically going to tell you if a team is sending the other team to the free throw line quite a bit and fouling. And then our new DVP, we broke down guards. Sorry, my son just tested positive for strep throat. Crap. That means we're not going anywhere this week. But guards, forwards, centers, and then just overall DV or fantasy production allowed. So that's our tutorial. That's our housekeeping. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these plays. Houston's not a team we can really depend on. You can also just scroll right here and see the scores of the recent games. So you can see they're 2-5, not doing really well. They did manage to beat the Spurs twice, but not too impressed. Going down through here, I didn't really see a lot I liked out of Houston, but there is one guy that jumps out at me, and that is Jabari Smith. So this is what we're going to take a look at. Now, one of the things that I noticed looking here, so this is his most recent game on the 11th, and then you work your way back. So the last 3 games here, his minutes played 36, 47, 32. So he's playing a bunch of minutes recently. So maybe Houston's, letting him run a little bit. Before he was down in the mid-20s, 21, did have a 33 here. But I really like the production he's putting up, especially in these last 3 games, 20, 30, and 15 points. And then prize picks, we can see here, they opened up his line at 12.5. So I definitely like taking an over there. It's a tough matchup against Boston, but he's been, and I'll scroll down here and look at the points, he's been the highest scoring person on his team, I think both of the last 2 games. Sorry, let me mute my phone. Yeah, so one of them that we like, sorry, my son's at the doctor, my wife's texting me, didn't expect that. So Jabari Smith, a lot of production these last 3 games. So points over 12.5, that's going to be one of the prize picks lines that I night, one of 3 that jumped out on me this morning. Now for my same game parlay, you can notice we went with, where did he go? Was Jabari not in here? Yeah, he is. He's got to be in here. Am I missing one? Oh, there he is. Sorry. So Jabari right here. I went points and rebounds over 20 for my same game parlay. The reason is, look at his rebounds here. 10, 12, 8. So even if you go 12 and a half and he gets 8 rebounds, he's going to get over that 20. But with 10 and 12 rebounds and the points, if he goes over one, he's probably going to go over the other. You can see if he missed one, he missed both. So that's just something I did to give myself a little bit more of a cushion. I didn't like the line on his points prop. So Jabari Smith is the only guy I like from Houston. Coming over here, if you do a same game parlay, you need 2 players from the same game, and Jason Tatum is our money ball over here. I love him. Look at his last 5 games here. 34, 30, 40, 22, and 41 points. With the exception of this game here, I mean, he's 30-plus points in every game, eclipsed 40 twice, and then his rebounds, 15, 7, 11, 13, 11. I mean, he's grabbing an absolute ton of boards, and I doubt Houston's really going to put up much of a fight, so your risk of a blowout here is what you're worried about. But what I went with here, and this is one of my staples, is Jason Tatum points plus rebounds. And I always take the alt line on DK because you can see even when he has a lower points here, 13 rebounds, that gives him points plus rebounds at 35. And I think on my same game parlay, what did we do? 35 on him. Yep, we did 35 points and rebounds here for the same game parlay. And you can see here, looking at his recent games, he's got 49, 37, 51, 35, 52. So 35 has been a floor for him, and that was right here on his worst game. So I took that, just hopefully a little bit of a safer side. Also, he's been making a ton of threes, 5, 6, 6, and 4. None this game. But anyways, those are the 2 that I like here. Another one that I've sprinkled in on a few that's not listed is Derek White. Actually, let me take a look here. Nope, my bad. Derek White, 12 plus points is another one that jumped in there. And he's got 18, 21, 12, 12, and 16. So he's been at that in 5 straight games. Now, if Price Picks has 12 and a half, it's a little bit more tricky, but I still like that. It's not out yet, as you can see, because this is blank. But with 18 and 12, one of the things I'm going to look at is the results up here. And then I'm going to look and kind of see how he did, especially in these last 5 games. Now, what you notice here, he had 18 points in this game. They end up winning by 9, so that's fine. But this game was pretty much a blowout, 115 to 93. So he got some pretty good run there, scored 21 points, which playing Houston, this should be a blowout. So I expect him to get a lot more minutes and a lot more points. Over here, this is a tight game that they lost. He did run 36 minutes, but he only scored 12 points, but that's still a win for us. Same thing here, tight game, 32 minutes, 12 points. Here they lost. He only did 24 minutes, but still got 16 points. And then the tight game here only got 25 minutes and really didn't score that much. So I like Derek White to hit 12 plus points. I'm curious to see what the Price Pick line is when it comes out. But that's kind of what I do when I flip through these games. The reason I didn't have Jaylen Brown in here is because he's kind of sporadic right now. 24 and then 11 and then 32, 29, some good games, and then 16. So he's kind of up and down. So it was a little bit more risky. And I kind of like the confidence with Jason Tatum taking the guy who's hot right now, who's doing really well. That's kind of the route that I was going. Another thing that you can look at, a little tip on this sheet, we have right now. So you can take a look. So Jason Tatum, let's say he gets ruled out. Well, we can see he wasn't in this game right here. So if you go up here, you can see what Jaylen Brown do when Jason Tatum was out. Since these two are the top 2 most efficient people on their teams, if one's out, I want to see what the other one does. So just in case like Tatum is ruled out, you can come here and say, okay, he was out this game, and we're going to go up here and we're going to take a look and see what he did. Well, Jaylen Brown put up 32 points, 13 boards, 9 assists for a PRA of 54, which is phenomenal. He did play 45 minutes, so he got a lot of run there, and he hit 7 free throws. So one of the things I always tell people to keep an eye on that I think is like common knowledge, if Brown or Tatum is out, the other one's usually going to go bananas. Same thing with a few other players, but that's just a little tip and trick for you. Let's flip down, look at another game. Detroit, Indy, I don't really have anyone here. The one person I'm interested in possibly is this Isaiah Livers. You can see here 8 minutes, 25, and then these last 4 games, he's played over 30 minutes. This last game, he had 4 steals and 2 blocks. That was interesting. And in 3 of the last 4 games, he's hit at least 3 threes. So he's getting a little bit of run here. And then you can see his points, 18, 13, 9, and 17. So he's actually scoring some points here. You can see Roto's got him projected for 13, Fantasy Alarm 6. So there's a lot of variance there. I'm curious to see what Price Picks opens his number at. If it's like 9.5, 10, that's something I would probably take a shot at there. You can't be real confident. There's no one else with Detroit that's really killing it. Wiseman's been doing pretty good when you come down here and you take a look at his numbers. Points and rebounds, 16 and 9, 16 and 13, 21 and 5, 12 and 7. So here he was in kind of a slumping streak. And then the last 3 games, he's really picked it up. And what I like about these 2 games is that was in 26 and 27 minutes. So he's getting it done with not that much time on the floor. Over here for Indy, Halliburton points and assists is the only one that I'm ever interested in for Indy. There's no one else that really jumps out at me. Flipping through here, making sure I didn't miss something. Buddy, he's a scorer, so his 3-point prop is one you can always look at. But like if it's 2.5, that's probably one that I'm going to stay away from. With 3, 5, 4, 2, 2, 1, 3. That's pretty close. So nothing I really like here. So let's go on to the next game. So we've got Atlanta and Minnesota. One of the things that jumped out is Anthony Edwards. His last 3 games, he has been on absolute fire. 32, 32, 27 points, chipping in some rebounds, few assists in there. Price Picks has this at 27.5, which you can see, he's been over, and then missed by a half, and then he has some games over here where he was under. I don't like it on Price Picks at 27.5, but on DK for a same game parlay, you can get 20 plus or 25 plus. Just take the alt line, pay the juice, throw it in there if you need another play. That's probably my go-to guy for Minnesota. Gobert for a while, points and rebounds, we were after him, which you can see he had 39 in the last game, but then the prior game he only had 15. So he's been kind of sporadic. So depending on what his line is, points and rebounds is one you could take a look at. Over here, my go-to is Trae Young, points and assists. He's someone that I take an alt line on almost every night. Points 35, 28, 28, 25, and assists 13, 9, 10, and 7. So he's been absolutely killing it. I think points and assists on Price Picks 37.5. Not bad. I mean, he's almost getting that in points alone most of the time, but I can get a much lower number on a same game parlay, and I think I had that on this one. Let's take a look. Yeah, so I went ahead, I paid a little bit more juice, took an alt line. I took 30 plus points and assists, which he's almost getting that in points every night, and then we only need a handful assist. But the 37.5 for Price Picks, I don't mind it. It's not one of the 3 that I went with on Price Picks. Another one to look at is DeAndre Hunter. If you're doing a same game parlay, and I think we put him in there. Let's go take a look. So, yeah, we took DeAndre Hunter, 12 plus points, so that's basically over 11.5. Well, he's got 16, 18, 15, 14, 17, 17, 14. So he's hit that in several straight games. Price Picks, you got 15.5. So he's been over that. 4 of the last 6, not bad. 4 of the last 7 for 57% over here. We've got the little tracker. I don't mind it. I prefer my 12 plus in a same game parlay, but not one that I mind. If you're looking here, we've got DeJounte at 20.5. Originally, I was going to look at him, but you can see he's only been over that 2 of the last 7 games at 29%. Very sporadic. Here he put up 41, and then he put up 10, and then 23, and then, 14 to 16. I did not like this in a same game parlay because even 15 plus was juiced to like -5, -600. And you can see he's been teetering right around that the last 3 games. So I went ahead and said, hey, I'm going to stay away from that one. But Trae Young points and assists is always the go-to. Edwards points has been hot. Those are the 2 that I would put together. I think I did, yep, and I did Anthony Edwards. This one I had 25 plus points. And then I dropped it down to just 20 plus, which 25 should be good, but I wanted, this was going to pay out enough. I went back and I dumbed down some of these. So this, I knocked it down to just 20 points, just in case we get on that window or whatever. I wanted to go a little safer. Going down, Sacramento, Milwaukee. I'm going to stay away from this game right now because Giannis, I don't know if he's going to play. He should play, but I don't know if he's going to play. But just going forward, if Giannis is playing, Drew Holiday, points and assists, is one that I always go after. Now you can see these 2 games, Giannis didn't play. You know, he didn't do too bad, but like 18-8, 11-7 is not great. They both had this game off. But then when he did play in these 4 games, we had 19-7, 26-13, 23-9, 14-8 wasn't good, but these 3 games are pretty solid. So you can always get like a 25 plus Drew Holiday points and assists. That's great to put in the same game parlay. Lopez points and rebounds. You can see he's been pretty solid. Price Picks has been slow to catch up on the Brook Lopez points. They've been pretty low. I think we were getting 14.5 last week, and we've got 19, 24, 26, 15, 26, and 18. And again, if you want to see, these 3 games were without Giannis. You know what he did. So he got a bunch of points, and then with Giannis, had a couple 13, 15, but still had a couple of big games in there. And look at this. This is absolutely amazing. He's coming off a game with 5 blocks, and then he had 9 blocks here against, looks like Brooklyn. I'm scrolling up here to look at this. So he has 14 blocks in his last 2 games. That's impressive. And then 3 and 3. So I may look at a same game parlay and see if I can get Lopez 3 plus blocks and see what that pays, because that's phenomenal. But keep in mind, these 2, Giannis was out. So if Giannis is in, I would look more at the 2 to 3 range than taking a monster odds one over here. Over on this side, Fox points and assists has always been good. You can see he's coming off of a down game where he had 24 points and assists. Price Picks has it at 31.5. I don't mind it, but I don't have it for this game. For some reason, I skipped over this. I wanted to kind of stay away from this one for now. But Kevin Huerter is one of the ones I've been looking at for his points. They've been coming out really low, and he's got 9, 14. He had 25, 29, 18, 20. So he had a pretty good run here in the middle. And then this game, he only played 19 minutes. So when I'm looking at the points coming across here, and then I see this 9-point game, if you don't know the minutes, you think, okay, you know, he's not getting enough playing time, or, well, he just wasn't on the floor that much. So here he was like 20 to 30 minutes, so 32, 37, 33, 33, 22. But here he only played 19 minutes. So he's projected tonight to get 27 to 30 minutes, so more run. So I would like his points to get back up in this, 15 to 20 range. So depending on what the line comes out, that could be one we look at. Keegan Murray's another one. I've been putting him in a ton of same game parlays at like 8 plus points, 10 plus points, 12 plus points, kind of in there. And he was on fire over here with 20, 13, and 14. And then here he played 20 minutes, didn't really do anything. And then he had a 13 and a 10, decent minute run. And then over here he didn't have anything, but he only played 15 minutes. So these bench players, it's kind of sporadic on the minutes that they play. But they're always fun if you've got someone that scored 10 plus points because they could get it real quick, and then you could run away with an over. Flipping down here, Golden State Phoenix. I love going after this game. I'll have some same game parlays on this. Steph, in his 4 games back, he has 36, 29, 40, and 27 points. Price Picks has this at 28.5. Don't mind it, but I prefer taking something in a same game parlay a little lower. And on this one, you can do 20 or 25 points. I jumped it up. I took 25. I'd rather be a little safer up here on Anthony Edwards and then jump from the 20 to 25 for Curry. 25 seems to be a floor for him. 27, 29 is pretty close, but 36 and 40, I mean, he's going way over that number. And his triples, 6, 4, 10, and 5. Price Picks has 4.5. You can get 3 plus, 4 plus in a same game parlay. I love putting that in there. That's not too bad. Klay Thompson's a little bit sporadic. He was pretty consistent here when Steph came back. Then he kind of tailed off here. This one got me because I had 3 plus triples, and he was 2 for 7 or 2 for 8. I think that's the one Jessica also had. She needed another triple or points or something in there. But he came back with 4 triples, 22 points, so in there. But Steph's your go-to guy. He's going to be your number 1. If he struggles, then Klay's going to be your number 2. Draymond, every time I pick him, he just craps the bed, so I'm staying away from him. I mean, look at this. Points 4, 5, but then he has 15, 16. I mean, it's so sporadic. In there, I stay away from it. And then his rebounds are the same way. So he goes from 1 to 5 to 13. There's no rhyme or reason. His assists stay pretty consistent, but again, he had 1 and 3, and then 11, 7, and 9. So I just stay away from Draymond. Typically, his rebounds and assists are always fun to chase, but again, it's very sporadic. Here he went from a combo of 6 up to 22, so he's kind of all over the place. Not very consistent. Same thing with Dante, 2 points, 21 minutes, then 20 points, 37 minutes. Poole, kind of the same thing, 10, 11, 22, 13. So when you see players like this that are just kind of like up and down, I kind of stay away from them. I'm looking for players that have like 3 or 4 hot games. Like here, Steph's been on fire. I mean, you could go after his triples, you could go after his points, you could go after his PRA. His PRA isn't bad, 38.5, and he's got 46, 40, 53, 35. So he's been over it in 3 straight, and this should be a very competitive game. And then Golden State plays really good at home. Let me flip over and show you this real quick. So when I go through it, I'm looking at sports betting. And this isn't a sports betting video, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time on it. But look right here. So Golden State's one of the biggest teams. At home, they are 28-7 straight up. On the road, they are 7-26. So huge difference. And then you can even go here, and I love the game logs that we've implemented this year. Last 3 road games, lost by 21, 9, and 8 points. Recent home games beat Milwaukee by 9, and then they had 5 other wins by 9, 24, 18, 5, and 15. So huge difference when Golden State's at home. So that's why I like going after their points props here. On the other side, Booker's been absolutely red hot, 25, 24, 37, 35, 36, 44, 28. And I think we did 25 plus in the same game parlay. Oh, we did points and assist here. We did 30 plus. So I debated taking his points 25 plus because that seems solid. But what I noticed is here he's getting more than 5 assists per game pretty consistently. He's averaging 7 over the last 4 with 8, 4, 10, 6, 7. So I took 30 plus points in assists. It was a little bit less juice on the alt line than taking a higher point. So we went ahead and put that together because typically if he has a lower points number, or if he has a higher points number, he has lower assist here. So he went 44 and 4, but here he only had 28 points, but he had 8 assists. And then there he just exploded on both. There he went up for 35 points, had 6 assists, 37 and 7. So if his points go up and his assists go down, he's still putting up a big number. And then if his points go down a little bit, his assists usually go up. So I kind of like that. And check the 4 steals last game. That's pretty sweet. Chris Paul is someone that's also been a little sporadic, but I don't mind. What jumped out at me is his points and assist. Now, on a same-game parlay, I could get 20-plus points and assist. On a Prize Picks, it's 24.5. But here you can see 16 and 16, so we had 32, 18 and 9, so that's 27, 11 and 7, 11 and 10. He would have fell below the Prize Picks number, but been real close to the same game number. But he was struggling a little bit here, and then kind of got back in the groove. And then these last 2 games, he's put up some solid numbers. So I did not put him in the same game parlay. Let me make sure that is correct. Yep, I didn't put him in there on this one because we're already paying 20-1 on our risk-free $10 bet. But if you put him in there, I don't mind it. It'll drive it up. I'd rather take some shots elsewhere, and I could see him doing a 2-11 game and screwing me and then getting extremely mad. Flip it down here, Miami, Utah. I'm going to go through this game pretty quick. Jimmy Butler is really the only one that jumped out at me. His points, 38, 33, 28, 26, 33, and then a couple 15-point games. But you can say here, in 5 of the last 6 games, he's been at 26 or more points and over 33 times. So the second Prize Picks play that I like is Jimmy Butler over 24.5 points. Seems pretty safe. He's playing Utah. They're 20th in points allowed. They're 24th on perimeter shots. And he doesn't shoot a ton of threes, but still. I like that. Butler's been pretty solid there. If you want to go points and rebounds, I don't mind that. He's typically averaging less than what his lines are. So if you start comboing these, you got to be careful looking at his PRA. So I kind of like the points because he's more of a pure scorer. There wasn't anyone else here that really jumped out at me. Markkanen. His points is 25.5, so I do not like that on Prize Picks because you can see here 13 and 20, and then 2 just barely over, and then 2 way over. And Miami is a tough matchup. You can see here they're 10th in rebounds allowed, 13th in points in the paint, 16th in points overall. They typically play pretty slow and they don't give up a ton of points, so I did not like that one. I'm curious to see what Akbaji, however you say his name, his points is. You can see here he's starting to pick up a little bit of steam. He's getting close to 30 minutes of run, so that one's interesting. But let's go ahead and jump on to the next one. And with this many games, we don't need to mess with, crappy games and low totals if you don't, really like it or you're not watching it on TV. Looking over here, Dallas-Memphis. I love this game. I don't know if Kyrie is going to play. Here they have him projected for 25 minutes, but there's no lines on him, so that tells me he's closer to questionable than he is to, hey, he is going to play. But I love taking a look at his points prop, especially the same game parlay. That's one I wish I could have got in mind before I locked it in. Look at this, 27, 33, 30, 40 points over the last 4 played games. Solid 4 to 6 rebounds, assist per game, so his PRA number is still pretty solid. Usually if he goes over in points, he's going to go over in PRA, but I like to stick with this points number. That's pretty solid. Another one is Tim Hardaway. He's 17 plus points in 4 games straight, 23, 17, 24, 21. So I'm curious to see what his price pick line is. It's not out yet. They're probably waiting on the status of Kyrie, but even when Kyrie played these 3 games, he still had 17, 24, and 21 points, and then 23 with Kyrie out. So that's another interesting one that we can put in there. Over here, Bane. I've never been a Bane fan, but he's been doing decent. 37, 21, 25. This 7-point game with 35 minutes worried me a little bit. But other than that, he's been pretty good. He's been hitting that 20, 25, even got as high as 30, but a little sporadic there. For some reason, I just don't get a good feeling with him, so I typically don't play him a whole lot. Jaren Jackson, I absolutely love. This guy's a block monster. Look at his blocks down here. And I may need to slide this over so you can see them all. So 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 4. So he is typically at least a block a game, 2+ blocks a game in 6 of the last 7. And so in our risk-free parlay, I went ahead and put 2 blocks in here. Let me see how Dallas ranks against blocks. So they only give up about 4 blocks a game, so not good. But I didn't see that before I bet it, so I took Jaren Jackson, 2+ blocks to kind of drive this up and get this plus 145 leg. Tyus Jones was the other one that we went with. What jumped out at me, Tyus over here, his assists are fire. Look at this. 10, 11, 3, and 12. So 10, 11, and 12 in 3 of the last 4 games, and getting the 30+ minutes with Morant out. But his assist on Price Picks, this is the 3rd one that I like, is 8. And so he's been 25% or better over that. He's averaging 9 over the last 4 games, and that includes a 3-point game or a 3-assist game that he did have. So Tyus Jones over 8 assists is the 3rd leg that I do like. There wasn't really anyone else that jumped out at me, but also Jaren Jackson points have been pretty solid. He had 3 here over 20. And then a 14. His rebounds have been pretty solid as well. I don't like the Price Picks line of 7.5 because he's sitting at 7, 9, 8, 5. So half under, 1.5 over, half over, 1.5 under. He kind of teeters that. That's a very good line for Price Picks. Points 19.5, kind of the same way. Way under, barely over, barely over, under. So I don't like those. I prefer him more in a same game parlay, where you can take something and take his points and rebounds together. But again, this is kind of how I utilize the sheet. And this is the best tab that you can come to because I can see the game logs, what they're doing. I can go up here and see who they played. I can see what the final scores are. And it really helps me with my research when I flip through these games and determine who I like, who I don't like. And again, so let's flip back and just take a look at this same game parlay, a little sporadic right now. So the Tyus Jones 8 assists, we went with that. That's the same as the Price Picks line. And then I put in 15+ points and assists just because I thought it was only going to be the 2 legs. But then I added the Jaren Jackson 2+ blocks, but I added that before I saw the least amount of blocks that Dallas is giving up. So that one worries me a little bit. Maybe leave that one off if you're going to tail. Trae Young points and assists. Edwards, we dropped it from down to 20+, took a little safer. Alt line, more juice. Hunter, 12 plus points. Tatum, points and rebounds, 35. You can even take this down to 30 if you want to pay a little bit more juice, because we have a really good payout up here, and we're worried about a blowout against Houston. Jabari Smith, I love this one. This is one of my favorite plays. Points, I think 12.5 is what Price Picks has that I'm going with. But points and rebounds, 20. Why not? If he hits one, he's going to hit the other. Derek White, 12 points. He should get some more run in the blowout. That is one thing I don't remember if I talked about. So let's flip back here and take a look at that. I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, so I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. So over here in this blowout game, he ended up getting 36 minutes. And then here they won by 9. He also got 36 minutes. So I guess it's 36-32, so not a huge difference. So either way, he's getting some minutes. So Derek White, just to score 12 points, he's coming close to 80% higher than that on average. And then Booker, Steph, these are the main two guys. This should be a good game. Golden State at home, so I like Curry to go up. I had 20 plus points, but I went up to 25 because they are at home, and that's still minus 145 on that leg. And then Booker, points and assists. When his points don't get up there, his assists do. I think I saved 30 points of juice by doing points and assists. So our legs here, we've got Curry, Booker, like we said, minus 145. The Boston line, we put those together, got 185, so that's a good one you can bet straight up. Then over here on the Minnesota line, which is probably one of my least favorite, it's minus 135. And then over here on the Dallas line with Tyus, the Jaren Jackson blocks, that one's kind of making me mad now. I should have looked at that a little bit better. Plus 145, put them together, it's plus 1953. And again, just to recap, if you're on Prize Picks, the three that I'm going to go with are Jabari Smith over 12.5 points, Jimmy Butler over 24.5 points. He's 4-0 over the last 4, 5-1 over the last 6, and then Tyus Jones, 8 plus assists. So good luck, guys. Have some fun. It's spring break. My son just tested positive for strep, so we won't be going anywhere. So hopefully I can go after this 10K challenge that everybody's doing. I'm thinking about starting it at $37.50, so I only need 7 legs. But let's be honest, if I get to 2,500, I'm not risking all that again. So anyways, good luck. Hopefully I'll see you in the chat. I will have our March Madness bracket up in the next day or two. I'm working hard on getting that done. We've got some great prizes, and we're giving away an autographed NFL jersey for our members with 3+ months under their belt, so stay tuned.